We're back here in the studio with Ben and Sava from Playbox and Mastech. Now, I'll be honest with you, no idea what you guys do. I know it's something to do with player, so maybe you can tell us what Playbox is.
Okay, Playbox Technology is a channel-in-a-box manufacturer. So we manufacture solutions for ingest, scheduling, playout, and branding. We supply a simple 1U system, which contains all of the software to enable a single channel playout or a multi-channel playout center to manage one or multiple channels.
And Mastech, what do you guys do?
So Mastech provides content storage management and asset management for broadcasters and media organizations. Essentially, whenever you get content into the system, however it might come in, we can manage the metadata, we manage all the different locations that asset might be stored in, all the different formats it might be stored in, and as part of our software solution, we bundle the transcoding, the workflow automation, the API level integration with various broadcast providers, and all underneath a very user-friendly interface that anybody can use to find and make use of the content that they have.
Now, you guys are from different companies,
yes,
but you work very, very closely together. Can you explain how that works?
Okay, so Playbox manufactures solutions for ingest and scheduling, playout and graphics, but what we don't do is have a solution for the piece in the middle, which is what happens to that media once it's been ingested. How do you add metadata to it? How do you catalog it? How do you store it? How do you archive it for later retrieval? So that's why we partner with Mastech, who provide that missing piece in the middle.
So essentially, once we get content into the system through Playbox's capture box system, we can then make that content available wherever it needs to be inside the environment. We can move it around between different storage tiers. So for example, if you want to keep something long-term, we can move it to long-term storage like LTO tape. We can move it to different broadcast servers and format it or transcode it into whatever resolutions the broadcaster needs it. At time of playout, we'll then receive a message from Playbox that will ask for some of the content that's not already on the broadcast server, and then that gets sent over to the server for playout and transmission.
So typically, who are your customers, Ben?
It could be anybody from a single channel playout facility, so a startup channel or educational, ethnic channels, music channels, all the way up to multi-channel installs. We've got clients who have one server, some clients have 100 plus.
And so is this a piece of hardware that if you've got one channel, you buy one box, if you've got 10 channels, you buy 10 boxes?
It literally is a channel in a box. So you unbox it, you install it in your rack, you connect keyboard, monitor, and mouse to it, and you have all the inputs and outputs you need in order to get your content in and get it back out again.
So for someone who's very new to this, walk me through a typical workflow.
Okay, so typically you will capture your content maybe from tape or from live, or it could be file ingest. That's then moved to storage, which would typically be a Mastech environment, or it can be a simple online storage, a cache. Once that's been ingested, if it's in the media asset management system, metadata will be added to it. It will be cataloged and put into various formats for archive or transmission. If it's a simplified workflow, people may just decide to store their media on an online storage device. From there, you create a playlist. The playlist is moved across to the playout system automatically based on times you want it to start and the date. The playout system, which is Airbox, will then request the file from the storage, copy it across to the Airbox, and play it out according to the playlist. So it's quite straightforward, easy to use.
Plug and play.
Yeah, a lot of our customers, I mean, we're very successful in emerging markets, so Africa, Asia,
units,
parts
but the real
of
power.
Europe, for example, where the technical requirements aren't so advanced in some of those cases, so people want a simple system they can get their hands on and get started with. But as well as that, you've got the mainstream broadcasters from the established markets who want a low-cost alternative to traditional playout system. So
what else does Mastech do?
Well, we work in a lot of different environments. Some of them are transmission environments. Some of them are content creators or production houses. And really anybody who's got the challenge of managing large amounts of content can get a lot of use out of the system. One of the areas that we've expanded to relatively recently in the last couple of years has been into the news market. And the interesting challenge there has been that they of course have lots of content. Everything that they produce they may want to archive, they may want to keep long term because it has value both for reuse and also cultural value. But that's always been a challenge for them, and it's been hard for them to find that information. And a lot of that content has just been stored on videotape or on DVD, and perhaps in multiple different formats, storage formats. So what we've done is something that's really unique in the market, in that we have integrated with their newsroom computer systems. So the primary tool that the journalist uses to create and write their scripts is also the tool that they can use to find the video content that they have within their environment. A journalist just goes, searches for the archived version of the script, and they can do that using all the script content as metadata. And when they find it, the video link is already in there. So we've automatically associated video and script together in a way that nobody else has, and the journalist doesn't have to go out of their environment to find it. And if they need to use that content, reuse it on air, they don't have to go anywhere else to restore it either. So that has been kind of unique in the market and is really part of our strategy of providing media asset management that works right out of the box, that doesn't require a lot of professional services or custom coding, which is fairly unique out there. And it's something that has been very successful in some regions, and we're trying to expand that into the EMEA market with the help of Playbox, who not only is our technical partner, but also is our reseller partner in EMEA.
And so is this really about trying to simplify something? It used to be very complicated by bringing in two partners, and you basically buy into the system and it just sort of makes your life a lot easier in transmission.
Yeah, I think it goes one step further, as each company in its own right is trying to simplify each respective workflow. So the channel in a box concept, which has been interpreted in different ways in the industry, we've tried to simplify everything by literally making a channel in a box. One server is a channel, and it will give you as many tools as we can give you.
And so what kind of tools are in this channel in a box?
Sorry?
What kind of tools are there in this channel in a box?
A typical system will allow you to ingest multiple channels simultaneously, multiple formats. It'll allow you to build a playlist. It will allow you to store that content locally on that server. It will allow you to build a playlist with graphic commands, various events. It will allow you to play that out with a full interactive CG and graphics package. So it's not just a ticker, it's not just a crawl. It can be a full interactive template, full interactive graphic template. As well as that, we provide the as-run log information for logging purposes and for traffic systems. So the channel in a box is simplified, but we try and include as many products as possible in that one server to give everything the broadcaster needs in a simple package.
And go on.
I think that's one reason why our partnership is such a good fit, because we really have similar strategies and mindsets regarding the way that we want to approach our customers. And we believe that every customer should have access to a simple and affordable system to do what they need to do to get their content out to their consumers, whoever that might be. And both want to bundle as much of the basic functionality with the system as we can. So from the Mastech perspective, one of the things that's unique about us is that we don't charge anything extra as the customer increases the amount of storage in their system. We believe that you buy the system, you've bought the licenses for it, and we expect you to increase your storage, and we don't want to penalize you for that. And so that is, I think, very complementary to the way that Playbox works as well.
So what other considerations would someone with a startup channel who maybe are looking at your offerings, what other things should they be considering?
What other things should
they be considering?
I think the most important thing is the formats, the house formats that they're going to use, because in a lot of startups, they are going to acquire a lot of content quite quickly. Once they start ingesting and storing their content, that library is then going to grow. What do you do with that once it's been ingested? It's all right having the tools to actually ingest and schedule your content, but how about management? And that's the bit Playbox has been missing for quite some time.
I think there's a couple things that we always like to look at. One is, the financial side. How is the cost of your system going to grow? Are there hidden costs that you're not going to see at the beginning, but that are going to get added in, and something we try to avoid. The other is the system going to fit into your environment, not only as it exists today, but as it might change in the future? Is it going to work with all of the different pieces that you've got there? And is it going to work at more than just the most basic level? So that's something that we sort of recommend to every customer that we talk to.
And scalability as well. You may start with one channel today, but in a year's time you may be 3, 4, 10, 20 channels. How do you consider the rest of the workflow when you're expanding your system?
And what kind of investment are people looking at to start a channel with their own basic system? I mean, where should they be kind of preparing themselves in terms of revenue and financial investment?
Okay, from Playbox's point of view, we have a very simple model. We have a turnkey system which you purchase with no ongoing maintenance fees. The only thing that we offer is an upgrade in the software version, which any software company would do for a small fee. We are looking at the software as a service model, virtualization and cloud-based playouts, which will be announced at NAB. But yeah, I mean, we make it as simple as possible. You buy the kit, you own it, it's yours. If you want to upgrade in the future, you own the software. It's simply a hardware exchange.
So it's a bit like buying a computer, basically. It's just a piece of hardware with...
It really is. You're buying a computer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for customers to consider what happens if you're successful. Assume that you're going to be in business for a long time, that you're going to have a successful enterprise, and as you do that, the amount of content that you produce or that you own or that you license is only going to continue to grow. And so what may not be an asset management challenge in the first week could certainly become an asset management challenge after a couple of months, because you can't assume that it's going to be easy to find the content that you own just through some sort of naming convention. And quite honestly, not all customers even have a good consistent naming convention.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's all about scale. I mean, no one starts a TV channel thinking they're only going to start one channel. Yeah. The idea would be, I guess, as you say, you want to scale. So it sounds like your solutions both offer a nice entry point with a future scalability.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
I've been with Playbox now for 7 years, and I remember when I first joined, it was in the early days of selling a turnkey product. There were customers who had 1, 2, 3 channels who, some of them do have over 100 channels now, and they've grown into big successful entities, and it's quite nice being able to be there every step of the way, see the technology change, see the requirements change, and they're exactly the sort of customers who say, hang on a second, we love your product, however, we don't have any asset management tools. And again, as I keep saying, this is the reason for the Mastech integration. Yeah. And it's a great partnership.
Absolutely, it makes a lot of sense, and really creates a very nice, complete solution that I think customers have been looking for.
Now for the trick question: what's your booth number?
F12.
F12. So if you want, guys, you're working in the same booth together, right?
Yeah, we
yes,
are.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so if you want to learn more about Playbox and Mastech, then F12 is where you want to head, and we'll be back very shortly.